Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Life After Kids with Doctors Brooke and Lynne. I'm Dr. Brooke.
And I'm Dr. Lynne.
And we're so glad you're here.
Oh, you guys, we're talking about a great topic this week. It's all about gift giving with our significant others, with our partners, and how to navigate those waters. Because we have a good story about this, and I think you might relate.
Yes,
Some of you.
I'm guessing many of you will, and don't tell our husbands we're talking about them if you know them. So this has been a tough. Go ahead.
Yeah,
you have something
this,
to say.
This started with, so we talk a lot about love languages. My number one love language happens to be gifts. And if you know about the love languages, it just means that's how I feel loved. Like by having Dr. Brooke, buy me a little mug or something. That's the way that I feel that I'm cared for and I'm appreciated. And our husbands are often, or significant others or partners, are often a totally different love language.
Yes.
And that's where the problem comes in.
Yes. And by the way, not to make you sound like you just want all the gifts. You give gifts too. You like to give. You do want all the gifts, but you give gifts too. That's just the way you
exactly. That I show love.
You show love that way.
You tend to exhibit or express your love language to others too. That's how you're showing them.
Yes, exactly.
That back. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I think that I've always had in my mind this idea that my husband, who I adore, is going to be the man that's the romantic, I don't know, picnic lunch put together with the beautiful, little gift box. And that is not, my husband does a lot of things well. Gift giving is not one of them.
Well, and that's one of the downsides of the Hallmark movies, right? Because I love those too, but if I watch 20 of those in a row, which I've been known to do, then all of a sudden I have this skewed idea, because that is not, it's not natural, or it's not realistic.
And I think, and that's part of the problem, is that we chase after this ideal, and it's an ideal for a reason, because it's not attainable.
No.
And it's not real life. And if you're holding your husband or your partner to that, which I did at one point years ago, that's not okay. That's not fair to them. It's not fair to yourself. It's not so.
No, because I think what happens with that is it's all directed towards the woman. And yes, you should be wooed and you should be adored and taken care of. Don't get me wrong, but you have to contribute and you have to give just as much. You have to match that level of giving. That's what a relationship is, because your husband is a living, breathing person as well, who has needs as well.
Yeah, and we've talked about that before. That's absolutely.
Anyway, back to the gifts.
Yes, back to the gifts. So this is a good conversation right now, because we're in February, so Valentine's Day is coming up. So that's why we thought we would have this conversation now. So I've been through years, and I think you too, early on in our marriage, where Christmas, birthday, Valentine's, whatever it was
bad.
It was not good. And then there were periods of time where you're acting like you we probably sound like such brats here, but this is a real conversation, and you guys I hope you guys can relate.
Yeah, because I know in my mind at the time I was like, why doesn't he know what I want? Is he not listening? I'm dropping hints.
Yeah. And then you feel you're dropping hints, they still don't hear it.
Bit.
Then you feel let down, or voices in my head would be oh, he doesn't even know me. He doesn't get me. How could he not know that this is what is this?
That even? I would like this.
Yeah. And then a couple years in, when I started being more vocal about what is this? Then his feelings were hurt, because he loves me.
Yep.
And he's trying to do his best, but we just couldn't connect. So.
And in the case of my husband, he's a very loving, giving person. Don't get me wrong, but in that area, he sort of just gave up because I discouraged him, and I knew that was happening, but we just couldn't meet up. So, in any case, we have a brilliant strategy for everybody to be happy, for Valentine's to be a good, and birthdays and Christmas to be a joyous time in terms of feeling loved, especially if you have that gift giving as a love language, or just feeling appreciated when you get given a gift.
Yeah. So we started, we've been doing this for several years, particularly for Valentine's Day, birthday, anniversary. We go out and have a meal together, either lunch or dinner, and then either before or after, we go and shop together. And I pick something. He knows he's coming shopping with me. I pick something. Could be just something small. It could be jewelry. It's usually not some crazy expensive, but it's just whatever, something that's on my mind. But the key here is I'm happy because I'm getting something I like. I'm equally happy because he's shopping with me and spending time with me and making it important to him because he does not like shopping. We're both together and he doesn't have the stress of like, what am I getting her for a birthday? This is like, I don't even know where to start.
Yeah. And so back to, my story, this could have been a hill that I died on because it really was important to me. But I realized, and I looked at my husband and I saw that he's so good in every other area. And so I just got to this place one time where I accepted him. I just said, you know what? Like, I'm so grateful for who you are. And I know that this is important to me, but I'm willing to just let this go. Yeah. And I, because we have sometimes an unrealistic expectation. Yeah. So what we do is, and I stole this idea from you, is I will put together a list of a few things. Again, different price points, just things that bring me some joy that I would appreciate.
Yeah, like a wish list.
A wish list, if you will. And I'll send that to him in an email, and then he will surprise me with one or two sometimes off of that, and then he'll wrap it and bring it down, and it feels like, he's gone through some effort to do it.
Because he has. He's purchased it. He's wrapped it. And if you have a couple things on the list, you're not sure what you're getting. And by the way, I mean, like, and I'm sure you do too, like, I send an email with links to the size, like, because there have been the screw ups there too. So then everybody's happy. Right? And I think if we had Ken and Mark here, they would say, like, yes, this is like so much, it works for everybody, all parties involved.
Typically, men just want to know what we want to make us happy. They really do in most cases, and not in every case, but I think in general, men want to just please their partner if they can, and this helps that whole process in, that they have things to do and jobs and the kids and all of that. It just makes that so much easier.
Yeah, and I'll say one more thing here, because you mentioned, like, for a while that was the hill you were going to die on. Yeah. And then you were finally like, this is just not him. Like, I'm not going to change him. And this could be bigger, ladies, than gift giving. Whatever it is,
so true, with
your spouse, like, there might be something that you just is a hill that you're not going to die on, that you're like, you just can't take it, and it's just whatever, something about them that you don't like that you may not be able to change. So either you need to accept it at this point, or how can you work a strategy out that works for everyone? How can you make it easier for yourself, right?
Yeah, how can you, look at the whole and not just that one thing. And if your needs aren't being met, you can communicate that and absolutely have talks about it. And we did over and over and over. And at the end of the day, I'm a picky person. I have a very specific taste, and my husband, I can't possibly expect my husband to pay attention and know what I like in terms of makeup or clothes. He just doesn't have the bandwidth to do that with everything else and I saw that. And when I saw that, I said, okay, it's not that he doesn't love me. And that was the message, that with that love language, the gift equals the love. I had to break that sort of association and just accept it, and then find a better way, find a way where we could come together as a team on this and, win-win.
Yeah, I love that. It doesn't mean they don't love you. I think we can get wrapped up. We can associate that love with an act or something.
It could be quality time, and you really crave that, but your husband's acts of service, and he's over here raking the lawn for you and, putting up the Christmas lights, and he thinks, oh man, I'm just doing such a good job. So it comes back to self-awareness and knowing yourself, knowing your spouse, and those little tools really do help decode so much of our behaviors.
Yeah, and in that scenario, perfect example that you just gave is, like, if you want more quality time and he's busy doing other things, you might need to navigate that by saying, hey, taking the reins and saying, I'm going to schedule it. I'm making a reservation for whatever it is, Friday or Saturday night, we're going to dinner. Like, don't wait.
That's right.
You don't have to, like, wait for them to be who or how you want them to be. You get that ball in motion.
Love it.
Right?
Yeah. So, just like with the list and the email, that might seem like, I don't know, to some women maybe too forward, but it helps the situation moving it along, and take the ball by the horn and go for it.
Yeah, it's far better than being passive aggressive and being miserable and not stating how you
Done
feel
that
and
too.
just being, I mean, so have I. And it's not, in this phase of
It
life,
doesn't get you where
being passive aggressive and just fuming and,
Doesn't work.
eventually you're going to blow a gasket. So, yeah.
Love it.
Great conversation, guys. Thanks for joining us. Make sure that you are following us on all the social media, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, website, www.lifeafterkids.com.
Have a great week, everybody. Make it count.